My name's Alex, and today we're going to cover the four verticals passing concept. So before we start that, I wanted to address one of the questions I probably get asked the most as a coach, and that's what makes the Flexbone offense so dangerous. So I want to take a second to touch on that. What it forces defenses to do is they need to cover a four-man ground attack while also having to respect the fact that you have four wide receivers that are eligible. So the four verts concept is very simple. It's four vertical routes. Hopefully you had that figured out. When running these routes, you want the outside receivers to attack the numbers and your wings or A-backs to attack the hashes. So here's what this looks like. As teams start adjusting and getting beat on the run, they'll start cheating that safety down. So what starts as a 4 high becomes a 3 high, usually a cover 3 look or a cover 1 look. So how we attack that is if we're running 4 verticals, we're putting the free safety in a very tight spot where he is going to have to choose one of those two receivers because he can't play both. This is where a good quarterback is able to stare down one wingback to force that free safety over and throw to the wide open one. Additionally, some teams will move their coverage when they see the tail motion. And so if they shift their coverage over, that 4 high front still becomes a 3 high front. And then you can have that guy who's in motion make it, instead of a tail motion, make it a twirl motion and have him reverse back out and attack that hash mark. So if you really want to play around with different formations, there are some different things you can do. You can also look at play action as a method of forcing the defense even further in where they're respecting the run before throwing the 4 verticals concept. So here we have our base formation. If we wanted to take that wing back and bring him over into a trips formation, our assignments don't change. We're still attacking both sets of numbers and both hash marks. And you'll see that the free safety is still forced to make a decision between both wingbacks, the one crossing in front of his face as well as the one staying to his side. If you really want to make it hard for defenses, you can run this also out of the heavier tackles formation. You'll see I've labeled the tackle and the wide receiver, and you'll see why in a second. So if we bump over into that formation, we have our tackle coming over, our wing on that side is going to bump out, our wide receiver actually becomes the tackle. So it is important, especially for high school coaches, that if you're going to do this, to make sure to check with the officials and that your wide receiver has an eligible number. Otherwise, you don't want to get called for a flag on this play. But once we have that set up, we can still run our 4 verts, especially since this is a more run-heavy formation. If you run this a lot or if defenses adjust to it, it's great against an odd stack like I have it here. It's just one more tool that you have once teams start selling out to stop the run. I also recommend running one of these early on in the game, usually maybe second down of the first series, just to keep the defense honest so that they can't just pin their ears back and try to stop your run game. That's it for 4 verticals. It's a really simple, short passing concept, but it is kind of the linchpin on why the rest of the Flexbone offense works. So I wanted to make sure to introduce that in this short video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can leave them in the comments below. I've definitely been writing down the ones that we've had recently, and I've been working on a few different videos. I think the next one will be Flexbone out of the pistol. So be on the lookout for that soon.